Good afternoon from Marylebone. Today's journey is to Chiltern Railways. Is with Chiltern Railways up to Amersham on board 168110 this unit with 168322 at the rear. We'll be calling at Harrow-on-the-Hill, Rickmansworth, Chorleywood, Chalfont and Latimer, Amersham, Great Missenden, Wendover, Stoke, Mandeville, Aylesbury and Aylesbury Vale Parkway. But I'll only go as far as Amersham because Oyster and contactless are not valid after Amersham. Oh wait, here comes a Class 68 with Mark III carriages from Birmingham Moor Street. Okay. Honestly, these trains are better than the 165s. More legroom you'll see when the train departs. Here at Marylebone, you can change for the Bakerloo line and other Chiltern Railways services.
Welcome aboard this Chiltern Railways service to Aylesbury Vale Parkway, calling at Harrow-on-the-Hill, Rickmansworth, Chorleywood, Chalfont Latimer, Amersham, Great Missenden, Wendover, Stoke, Mandeville, Aylesbury and Aylesbury Vale Parkway. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff. Tip British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it? Say it.
We're not departing yet, are we? Once again, I'm only going as far as Amersham. Our first stop is Harrow-on-the-Hill, change for Metropolitan line services. Plenty of legroom, honestly better than the Class 165s. Compared to the Class 165s, these trains have tray tables similar to those on the Class 319 and Class 156. Haven't actually been on specifically the Class 319/2, also similar to the Class 156. That operate with East Midlands Railway, ScotRail and Northern. I can see why Chiltern Railways services don't have first class. It's because the standard is good enough for Chiltern Railways journeys. These trains usually operate on services to Oxford, Banbury, Stratford-upon-Avon and Birmingham. But thankfully it's operating up to Aylesbury Vale Parkway today. And there is the Metropolitan line. 168219 arrives from Birmingham or Oxford. Can't be from Birmingham because we just saw a Class 68 arrive from Birmingham. So either Oxford or Banbury. Hill, Rickmansworth, Chorleywood, Chalfont Latimer, Amersham, Great Missenden, Wendover, Stoke, Mandeville, Aylesbury and Aylesbury Vale Parkway. I haven't actually been on a Class 156 myself, just drove it in Train Simulator, Armstrong Powerhouse, Class 156 DMU pack for £25. now crossing the West Coast Main Line and Watford DC Line.
As far as Amersham.
Same applies with contactless too. Jubilee line to Stratford. A Jubilee line train from Stratford terminating at West Hampstead. Another Jubilee line train to Stratford. I should do more journeys on the Chiltern Main Line, Marylebone to Aylesbury via Amersham, Marylebone to Oxford, Marylebone to Aylesbury Vale Parkway via Amersham, to Oxford, Banbury, Stratford-upon-Avon and Birmingham Moor Street. And also Princess Risborough to Aylesbury, maybe even West Ealing to South Ruislip or West Ruislip. Maybe even also Marylebone to Gerrards Cross or High Wycombe, but most trains continue to Aylesbury or Banbury. Trains to Birmingham and Oxford are usually very fast. Not intercity like Avanti West Coast or LNER, but fast enough. I'd say London to Birmingham would be better with the on the intercity charter, or that usually departs every Friday. Well, not this Friday because that train is operating for Avanti West Coast. In all honesty, I prefer this over the Class 165. There's also more space in the Class 165. So if you're ever near Marylebone or near a station that Chiltern Railways calls at, just make sure your journey is on a 168 before buying a ticket, or even a Class 68 with Mark III carriages. We now leave the Chiltern Main Line at Missenden. Chiltern Main Line continues to West Ruislip, Gerrards Cross, High Wycombe, Princess Risborough, Oxford, Banbury, Stratford-upon-Avon and Birmingham Moor Street. If I wanted to visit Birmingham again, I'd have to travel with Chiltern Railways instead of Avanti West Coast. Because Avanti West Coast aren't that good anymore because of reduced timetable. First time travelling on Chiltern Railways since 2016. The only time I did back in 2016 was from Birmingham Moor Street to Marylebone. I got my first ever journey on a proper Chiltern Railways class 168, not a shitty 165. I love how the table seats have an extendable table. So this is useful for those who have a laptop and use it and need it for work. Just crossed the West Coast Main Line again. London Underground shared with Network Rail or National Rail. Metropolitan line with Chiltern Railways, Harrow-on-the-Hill to Amersham, Bakerloo line.
The next station is Harrow-on-the-Hill. Passengers for London Underground services, please change here. Oyster card users are reminded to touch out on the card readers before leaving the station.
Over in platform 3 is an all stations Metropolitan line train to Watford. This is Harrow-on-the-Hill. Our next stop will be Rickmansworth. This train's gonna get busy from here.
This train is for Aylesbury Vale Parkway. The next station is Rickmansworth.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good. It starts nice grill. So, all good.
Sorry. We're now ready to depart. Next station, Rickmansworth.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Let's check. So, I guess hang on, let's just read the agenda. So, let's talk about Ellis.
I love how we're just racing the Metropolitan line out of Harrow-on-the-Hill.
No, I mean, Ellis.
Metropolitan line may have quicker acceleration, but obviously we are faster.
Too high.
We're on the faster Chiltern Railways service. Hello, Metropolitan line. Goodbye, enjoy the rest of your journey up to Watford. There is an all stations Metropolitan line train to Aldgate. If you're on a Grand Central Class 180 or an East Midlands Railway Class 180 or any Class 180 operated by any train operating company for that matter, just remember you'll be going nowhere. A Metropolitan line train terminating at Harrow-on-the-Hill.
The only one that makes sense is the she's basically got the sales
I also need to do the London North Western Railway Class 230 between Bletchley and Bedford, and the Island Line Class 484 between Ridehill Head and Chankton. Both the Class 230 and 484 trains have been recycled from the D stop on the District Line. Apparently on the new D train you can walk through it. I haven't been on it myself, but Jeff Marshall has. There is an all stations Metropolitan line train to Aldgate. The Amersham London to Aylesbury via Amersham line can get a bit congested. Northward. Last time I travelled with Chiltern Railways was last week or the week before.
Okay, perfect.
From Harrow-on-the-Hill to Chalfont and Latimer on my way to Chesham on the Metropolitan line. I think that more tube stations on the TfL network should have bathrooms. But some bathrooms on the TfL network become targets for vandalism.
Have you got the tax calculations for the single tenant? If it's not too much work, I'd be really happy just to have that as the others. Because I suspect that's going to be a question next week as soon as we start sharing documents.
Well, we're now passing through Moor Park.
Let's get them to do that. That's a really good race. Especially cool beats a bit quicker. So just need to in fact, if you get that recorded today, probably go. Okay.
We're overtaking a Metropolitan line train bound for Watford.
No, but we might get to the point where we're asking to sign.
It's either for Watford, Chesham or Amersham. No destination indicator for that train, Metropolitan line train back there. It's either for Baker Street or Aldgate. If trains terminating at Baker Street and passengers want to continue their journey to Aldgate, they will have to change at Baker Street. Oh wait, that clock is 1 hour behind.
The next station is Rickmansworth. Please mind the gap between the train and platform when leaving the train. Oyster card users are reminded to touch out on the card readers before leaving the station.
Yeah, sorry, you're going to so you're going to Spain. Very good.
Here we are at Rickmansworth. Next Metropolitan line trains in 6 minutes. It will be an all stations service. This is Rickmansworth.
Who was that? Yeah, I think I remember.
This train is for Aylesbury Vale Parkway. The next station is Chorleywood.
These trains are driver only operated. Chorleywood is our next stop. As most Chiltern Railways services are driver only operated, there's no need for a guard on most services. Well, some services do require a guard, primarily the Class 68s with Mark III's, or even Marylebone to Oxford, Banbury and Birmingham. Some stations may not have driver-only screens, driver-only operated screens, like Kentish Town for Thameslink trains. This here is an empty Metropolitan line train. Class 168 is part of the Turbostar family. The Class 168 operates with Chiltern Railways only. There's also the Class 170 with Cross Country, Transport for Wales, East Midlands Railway, Northern and ScotRail. Used to also operate with Greater Anglia. Also with operates with West Midlands Railway. However, East Midlands Railway are expanding their fleet of Class 170s. Class 171 Southern only, and in the Class 72 with West Midlands Railway. Used to also operate with Chiltern Railways, and also on the London Overground between Gospel Oak and Barking until electrification in 2018. That was when the Class 710 was introduced, and the Class 172s weren't needed on the Gospel Oak to Barking line anymore. Class 172 on that line replaced the Class 150s. Class 150s now operated by Northern and Transport for Wales, maybe GWR. I would have loved to continue to Aylesbury.
The next station is Chorleywood. Oyster card users are reminded to touch out on the card readers before leaving the station.
I do love the space here for bikes. We are now approaching Chorleywood. Oyster and contactless are only valid as far as West Ruislip and Amersham. However, some trains may call at South Ruislip instead of West Ruislip before continuing up to Gerrard's Cross, High Wycombe, Aylesbury via Princess Risborough, Banbury, Oxford or Birmingham.
Yeah, she said it's absolutely terrifying. Anyway, they called a surgeon.
This is Chorleywood.
Come and, in A&E or whatever it was. They called the.
This train is for Aylesbury Vale Parkway. The next station is Chalfont Latimer.
The next station is Chalfont and Latimer, changed for Metropolitan line services to Chesham. Chalfont and Latimer is the penultimate stop that accepts Oyster and contactless. Then Amersham is the last stop before you have to get off the train there. also love to do Southern between London Bridge and Uckfield. Or between Eastbourne and Ashford International. Sadly, it used to be. Sadly, the Eastbourne to Ashford International service no longer goes to Brighton. Do South Eastern Charing Cross to Hastings, then Southern back to Victoria via Eastbourne and Gatwick Airport. Victoria to Littlehampton via Gatwick Airport and Hove. Maybe Horsham to Victoria via Sutton, or Victoria to Horsham via Sutton. And Victoria to Bognor Regis, Southampton Central, and also Portsmouth and Southsea via Gatwick Airport and Horsham. Victoria to East Grinstead, Victoria to Reigate. And Southern only operates services between Victoria and Brighton via Gatwick Airport on Sundays. However, this may change.
How much is the outsource?
These trains are also similar to the Electrostar family, which is a Class 357 C2C, Class 375 Southeastern, Class 377 Southern and Southeastern, Class 378 London Overground, Class 376 Southeastern, Class 379 RIP Greater Anglia, long live the Class 379, and the Class 387 GWR Great Northern, Gatwick Express and Heathrow Express. I would have loved to do the Class 332, but I can't,
Yeah.
because the Heathrow Express no longer uses it. Thankfully, Northern still use Class 333 on electric services in and around Leeds and West Yorkshire, Leeds to Doncaster, Bradford Forster Square, Oakley and Skipton, and Bradford Forster Square to Skipton and Oakley.
The next station is Chalfont Latimer. Please change here for London Underground services to Chesham. Oyster card users are reminded to touch out on the card readers before leaving the station.
Next, you're okay there, yeah? You've not locked the door yet? You've not locked the door yet? It's not locked.
You'll see a lock button when you get in there.
That's fine, it's just... James.
Yeah. Let's sit down
This train is for Aylesbury Vale Parkway. The next station is Amersham.
Amersham. That's where we have to get off. Please lock the door. Goodbye, Chalfont and Latimer. See you later. If I had a child and I took them on a train or aircraft and it had a bathroom, then I would have showed them how to lock the door. if I wanted to continue to Aylesbury, then I would have to purchase a ticket at Marylebone. There goes the line to Chesham.
The next station is the final station, which Oyster codes are valid on this service.
We're now approaching Amersham. The last stop where Oyster and contactless are valid. If you are using Oyster or contactless, please be ready to get off the train at this station, as Oyster and contactless will not be valid after this stop. They should also add contactless, but never mind. Oh wait, this is the glass is broken.
The next station is Amersham. Oyster card users are reminded to touch out on the card readers before leaving the station. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or text British Transport Police on 61016. We'll sort it. See it, say it.
I love the extendable table here. Which side do you think the doors are all open on? Okay, thank you. It'll depend. Haven't been here since last year, trying to do the Metropolitan line, but I didn't see any direct trains to Amersham while at Baker Street. Oh wait, it's not time yet. This is Amersham. This train is for. One 68110. This train will be calling at Great Missenden, Wendover, Stoke, Mandeville, Aylesbury and Aylesbury Vale Parkway. Goodbye 168110 and 168322. Enjoy the rest of your journey up to Great Missenden, Wendover, Stoke, Mandeville, Aylesbury and Aylesbury Vale Parkway. Look, there I am on the monitor, on the mirror, not anymore. Now it's time to wait for the next Metropolitan line train back to Aldgate. That's it for today's journey up to Amersham. Now it's time to wait for the Metropolitan line back to Aldgate or Baker Street, depending on which one is first, and see you next time.